Gandham Naranjanokam Uirnokam Verum Uirnokam Uirmalandalda. We'll offer this to you in stage by stage because pandemic is on. First concern is how to perk up the immune system. Today studies have been done in Harvard Medical School to show how this simple process called Simha Kriya enhances your immune system and also improves your lung capacity and definitely alters the way oxygen distribution happens in the system and maintaining your oxygen levels and keeping your immune system is the most important thing that you need to do right now. For this, you must start Simha Kriya. And there's another process called Yoga Namaskar, which is very, very vital to activate your neurological system to a certain level of exuberance. Neurological exuberance, what it means is, human experience is far more rich compared to the experience of other creatures on this planet, essentially because our neurological system is far more evolved. So people are trying to get their neurological system up either by drinking a coffee or sniffing cocaine or something else because they understand by invigorating the neurological system, an exuberant experience happens. Here we will teach you something, if you do it for a few weeks, you will see your neurological system is up naturally and your whole experience of life is so exuberant. We are right now, for this particular event, we are focusing on 4 simple practices. One practice mainly aimed towards upping the immune system. Another process aimed towards creating exuberance in the neurological system. Another practice to increase the oxygen levels in the blood flow that is happening in the system. And another practice to give you equanimity of mind. When I say equanimity of mind, you must understand that essentially people are using one dimension of their intelligence which is called as intellect. See right now, how many complex functions are happening on your cellular level? How much chemical activity is happening? How much neurological activity is happening? Are you doing this all consciously with your thought? No. Your intellect cannot do this. There's another dimension of intelligence which is sweeping through the system and doing everything that needs to happen. Only small things you must manage, rest is all happening naturally to you. If you access this dimension of intelligence, life will become a play, not a struggle. For this to happen, there are 2 problems. One fundamental problem is your identification with the body. Another fundamental problem is you create a whole world of your own in your mind. This essentially means you were given this body and this mind so that you can live in this world in the best possible way. But unfortunately, you don't live in this world, you create a whole new world of your own. And this world this world goes bad means, you must understand, it is just like a dream. What is happening in your head is your dream. If you can't manage your dream well, what the hell are you going to do with life? Life has too many ingredients. Your dream has just you. You can make it happen whichever way you want. Your thought, your emotion should happen your way. For this, we will have a simple kriya called Isha Kriya. I want all of you to at least invest 40 minutes to 60 minutes a day for your well-being, for physiological and psychological well-being of who you are, because without this, your job, your family, your money, your earnings, all these things will mean nothing, nothing at all. So we will give you the necessary tools. But the problem with the tools, is it works only for those who use it. That's the only problem.
Next question is from Manisha. We have heard that in our culture there are many ways to boost immunity with the local resources available at home. Could you shed more light on building resistance using home remedies?
Well, building up immunity is not going to happen overnight, this we must know. Generally, I believe, for a variety of reasons, looking at the lifestyles, looking at the food patterns, I think this must be checked, this must be medically checked. I think southern Indian people are having a better immune system than a whole lot of other people in the world, simply because of the food patterns and the practices and the weather and various other aspects. You must understand, in a tropical climate, there are more life forms than anywhere else, including microorganisms. The number and the variety of them is very, very high. So living in this land itself, the system becomes more resilient because we are exposed to these things all the time. That is one aspect. Another thing is food, another thing is lifestyles. All these aspects are there. Being farming communities largely, most of us, if not in this generation, in the previous generation, we've all come from farming communities. So people lived on the land, that itself gave them enormous strength. In most other parts of the world, over 80% of the population moved away from farming probably 100 years ago. In India, we've just moved away from the land only in the last 25, 30 years ago. This benefit is still there with us. It will not stay with us if you're continuing… If everybody starts living in high-rise apartments without being in contact with the ground and start living like lab rats, protected from everything, well, our immunity also will go down. But I think we still have this advantage. But right now, what can I do to boost my immunity? As I said, it's not an overnight solution, but in a period of time, you can do this. Well, let me talk about very common things available. One thing is, I must say this, we are sacred ash people, we're always ash-smeared one way or the other. There are different types of ashes, if you know how to use it. I can't go about giving you instructions of this over the on the web, but if you learn to use it properly, it helps. Neem is available almost right across the country except in the mountainous places. Daily consumption of neem leaves. Turmeric is anyway available. Now they are making what is called as nano-turmeric, where the absorption rate is way higher than the normal turmeric, which also greatly enhances your immune system. If you soak the gooseberry or the amla or the nallikai in honey overnight, along with some broken pepper, black pepper or green pepper. Green pepper, I'm saying for those of you who are in other countries, green pepper does not mean chili. We mean to say raw pepper. The peppercorn, when it's raw, which you might not have seen in most parts of the world, here it's common for us, it's available. So, soak it in honey and every day about 3 spoons, 3 times a day. It works best, all these things work best when you're on an empty stomach, that's the first thing that you take. If you do these things, you can see a significant increase in your immune system. I would say in 4 to 8 weeks, one can see significant betterment of one's immune system. There are yogic practices which are hard to teach, but right now, just doing a chant and doing Isha Kriya, this will also enhance your immune system. Let this be very clear that this is not treatment for coronavirus, nor is it a prevention. I did my chant, so I go and do irresponsible things, it's not going to work like that. These are things you do over a period of time and strengthen your system, that the next virus that comes, you may be in a little better place to handle. That is if you're there. Yes, don't take this lightly. Do not take this lightly. Right now, it is a challenge for every one of us to stay alive through this period. That's what it means. Do not think it's some remote thing that happens to somebody else in China or Italy. Right now, if you stay alive through these 6 to 8 months, that means we have handled this responsibly. If every one of us stay alive, that means we are good. We have lived consciously and responsibly, that's what it means. This is what, unfortunately, the governments have to enforce by force, because a whole lot of people don't seem to realize that this is necessary. And they think this is some fiction. This is not fiction. This is an imminent danger that we need to handle properly.
கொண்டு